As of right now, we are on the way to the hospital and very, very excited. Hey everyone, it's almost 9 o'clock and I'm going to tell you guys everything that happened since we've been here. Dad's eating. I can't eat. But he's having some lovely popcorn that smells. I want Taco Bell too. I'm going to have water and maybe a Sprite. Anyways, so when I came here, it was just like everything was happening so fast. I gave a urine sample. I changed into my gown. This is the Frida mom gown. I got it from Amazon and it's so comfortable and it's not itchy like the regular hospital gowns. And then I wonder, can I set this up? No. Okay, so after I put the gown on, then I tried to get like the IV in and there was one poke. Here's another poke. And finally, we got it in here. That was painful. There was blood on my right hand, like spilling out of my hand. It's kind of scary actually. And it hurt. It hurt. So yeah, after that, I got my cervix checked, which I've never had done before. I panicked. What you got this? Yeah, I did not like that at all. And I have another one at 10 because basically they were checking the cervix to see how far I was dilated. My cervix is shut, like shut. It's closed. So I had a pill dissolved down there. And then more recently, I have been able to take a walk. So I took a 15-minute walk and we walked around the floor, whatever, trying to get baby to come down. And yeah, so I have another dose coming at 10 and I'm nervous because I don't know, it just does not feel good to have the medicine put back there, but gotta do what you gotta do. Darian, what do you have to say to the people?
About what?
Anything.
Well, my part's pretty easy. But my job is to try to make it easier for you, so hopefully I'm doing a good job.
It's actually doing a really good job. My arm's starting to hurt. So, did I miss anything? I don't think so. I don't think I missed anything at all. I'm just going through the motions. I think I can have up to, it's either up to 4 doses of Cytotec or whatever it's called, or 6 doses. I want to say it's 4 doses. Would it be 4 doses every 6 hours? No, because we haven't been here for 6 hours.
It's 6 doses every 24 hours, so split that up a bit.
4 times?
Yeah. 6. Yeah. So every 4 hours, you get 1 dose.
So 6 doses in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Whew. So yeah, that means that I could be on the Cytotec for up to a day, which means that the Pitocin wouldn't start till after that. So we'll just see. We're gonna get everything checked in about an hour or so, and then I will update you guys later. All right. Okay. Let me figure out how we're gonna start. Stop. I'm trying to figure out where I want to start. All right. So before I get into why the hospital footage got cut, let me talk about my lip combo of the day because you guys be asking and I be forgetting. So for lip liner, I have my favorite MAC lip liner in the shade Chestnut, and then for lipstick, I have the MAC lipstick in the shade called World. So now that that's out of the way, so pretty much I made a mistake and left the camera out, and one of the nurses came in and she basically was like, oh, you can't film in here or something like that. And I didn't even like, I'm not gonna argue with nobody, I'm not gonna cause a ruckus because I have these people in here taking care of me and I don't want them to do anything shady while they are giving me medical treatment, because obviously I was in there for pregnancy. That's medical treatment. So yeah, I was just like, whatever, I'll just pretty much talk about my birth story when I get home. And it's been like 6 weeks. I actually just got cleared the other day. So yeah, I feel good and I feel comfortable enough to talk about the birth story. And I have my husband here, Darian, because I don't remember everything, and I'm going to tell you guys why I don't remember everything as well. So with that being said, after the nurse basically was like, oh, you can only take pictures or whatever, I was just like, you know what, just put it up. So whatever. The room was a lot bigger than we expected,
It was
right?
huge. Yeah, it was really big.
It was big because for the area that we live in, it stinks. Like, I don't like saying where we live because that's dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was like,
It still stinks.
yeah, it stinks. I was like, oh, the hospital room is gonna be trash, but it wasn't trash.
Pretty good.
It was pretty good, and I felt comfortable. Did you feel comfortable?
I loved it.
I loved it.
I mean, I wish I had a more comfortable place to sleep, but
yeah, what dad doesn't. So,
yeah.
Yeah, so that was a thing. If I have like a little bit of footage of the room, then I'm going to insert that clip in as well, because it wasn't like celebrity status, but I was thinking we was going to be in a little tiny room.
The second room that we were in, I thought would be the first room.
Yeah.
The second room was a lot
smaller.
smaller.
Second room was smaller. So now I'm going to talk about pretty much why I had an elective induction, or why I got induced at 38 weeks. So pretty much I was induced because, and I feel like I'm whispering because our daughter is in the room asleep. We're letting her sleep while we're filming this video. So yeah, I feel like I'm whispering. I'm just gonna have to turn the volume up for the audio or whatever. But
you don't want to make her mad.
Huh?
You don't want to make her mad.
I don't want to make her mad at all. I haven't said her name on camera.
No, you haven't?
No. I haven't told them her name because I don't know. I haven't said it anywhere. If you know, you know. If you don't, sorry. But anyways, why I got induced at 38 weeks, 2 days. She was really big. Like, what week was it when they said how much she we thought she was gonna, it was like 34 weeks. They were like, she's like 7 pounds, and we were like my mom was there, he was there, and I feel like everybody's jaw just dropped because she literally.
She's not bothering you.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Anyways, she literally was like 4 pounds like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago or something like that. And so we were just really shocked. Okay, that was the cat.
What are you looking at me for?
Because I'm so annoyed by her lately. Anyways, another reason why I was induced is because my blood pressure was starting to fluctuate a little bit. It was like 130-ish, and that's not normal for me. I don't typically have high blood pressure, so that was abnormal, and it made me and the doctor think that, oh, you know, with the size of the baby and blood pressure, medically, we have a reason to induce. So that was another reason. And lastly, we had an experience when I was on the stress monitor, because I had got to the point to where we would do like stress tests or whatever. And on one of our stress tests, basically kind of failed at one point because, how do I say this, but I was contracting on the stress test, and our daughter's heart rate
wasn't matching the contraction.
Right. So it was like it was dropping.
Yeah, when you had a contraction, her heart rate was going down when it was supposed to go up, or match the contraction at least. Right.
And so that was scary. So just a little bit about that experience. That's completely different from the actual birth part. But we basically suddenly had to go to the hospital, get on a monitor for a how long was it?
Hour and a half.
An hour and a half. Mind you, we were both working. Like, we had just went to go do our normal checkup, and then all of a sudden we're in a hospital. Like, literally checked into the hospital, had hospital band and everything just in case. So yeah, that was crazy.
But and the reason why was because you weren't sitting up well, they didn't have you sitting up like you were supposed to
Right.
do it originally. So it made it just ruined the contraction machine
I'm not
or
gonna
whatever.
lie.
The monitor, yeah.
Yeah, like it was really dumb, and I feel like that was a mess up on their part. But I love the place that I go to, or whatever that I've been going to. But they basically had me laid back,
You're
and
supposed to sit up.
I was supposed to be sitting up, and I feel like it really skewed the results of my tests, and it was just bad. So I think that's about it for that part.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so now in the previous video, I have some hospital footage or whatever, but like I think I was talking about the IVs. That was a terrible experience because I was so how do I say it? I was so not bloated. What is it called?
Oh, dang, swollen.
Swollen.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted to say bloated, but I was so swollen, and you could tell, like probably in my previous videos, even in hospital footage, you could tell that I was swollen. They could not stick my veins or whatever, and it was to the point to where they were kind of blaming me because they would say things like, "Are you a hard stick?" or something like that, and I'm like, "No, I'm 38 weeks pregnant." And I'm extremely swollen, like.
But you had some people that could do it right away, so it showed that it wasn't you.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was like people that I felt like weren't really good at sticking me or doing the IV or taking blood in general. Some people are just not good at it. And I actually had a nurse after our daughter was born. She came in and she was like, she looked at all my arms because I had scars all over my arms and on my hands because of how many people were sticking me. And she basically looked at my arms and my hands and she was like, I'm not even gonna put you through this because I'm not good at this. Like, she actually said, I'm not good at taking blood, so I'm not gonna do it. And I'm like, first of all, I was shocked. I was shocked because, like, what do you mean you're not good at it? Mm-hmm. Second of all, I was shocked because she actually fessed up and admitted to not being good at it, which, thank you, because, like, ow, like, I was literally in pain. So, yeah. Now let's get back to the actual induction. So the IV was literally hanging out on my arm, which, I mean, you know, it worked. Even though they literally said, like, hey, we usually don't do IVs like this, but this is all that's working for you at this point. So that was one thing. I feel like this is a traumatic birth experience. I feel bad because, like, on the internet, there's so many trauma experiences, but this is just my story. So it was a little bit traumatic. It's not like the greatest, like, smoothest delivery is what I'm gonna, basically you'll find out. They did let me go walk for a little bit after one of the doses of the Cytotec. So yeah, I took Cytotec, and that was supposed to soften up my cervix and open it or whatever. And so they let us go walk, which it was a nice little walk. We walked for how many? Was it like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
We walked for about
like 3 times, 10-minute increments. Something
yeah.
Like that.
But it was after the first time they were basically like, you can't walk anymore.
Yeah.
So I only got to walk one time, and usually you go walking so like you can like walk the baby down or walk it out or whatever. No, that didn't happen for me because after I got back into the bed or whatever, they checked my blood pressure and it had kind of went up. So they were like, all right, we're not going to walk anymore because we don't want, you know, any emergencies or any issues basically with your blood pressure spiking the way it was after the walk. So, boom, I basically was confined to the bed for ever, like basically forever, right?
Yeah, like 10 plus hours.
Yeah. So, and this was all April 2nd. This was like the night of the induction. So, I had the, what's it called? Oh, I talked about the cervix check in the video as well. Ow, ow, ow. That's the most painful thing. which
I had to hold you down.
Yeah,
and they asked me to hold you down.
I felt like I had to be held down because I was not anticipating that. And literally, the nurses were like, "Did your doctor not check your cervix before?" And I was like, "No." And so I had no idea.
She had no reason to, because your doctor before said she would only check it if she felt like she had a reason.
Pretty much.
And so the whole time, I don't think she had a reason to.
And so it was just crazy because I was like, I didn't know exactly what to expect. I really didn't even know what it was. That was the most painful thing that's probably the most pain up until postpartum, like after my actual birth. So yeah. Oh, another thing, my contractions never got intense enough for an epidural. And the reason why is because I never got past like 1 to 2 centimeters with the Cytotec medicine. So pretty much I went through all my doses and nothing happened. My cervix was basically shut. 1 to 2 like basically fingers, that's it. So it was a failed induction, and before I knew it, like everything was going so fast. I had to have an emergency C-section, and that is why I have Darian here with me, because I don't remember everything.
Bring me on for the bad stuff. Crazy.
Oh hush. Well, you can be on my channel more. You just are never on my channel.
You usually put on lipstick. I am not putting on lipstick.
Okay, fine. He's not wrong.
Okay.
I was supposed to vlog more, but anyways, that's not the point of this video. So I basically had an emergency C-section, and that was traumatizing. Like, my doctor, she was so nice, she was so sweet, and she really is not into, C-sections. She literally said, like, we're gonna do everything we can. We did everything we could, and yeah, I still had to have an emergency C-section because my induction failed. So it was April 3rd. It was like, was it
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock? Yeah, it was the evening time. And she came in, she talked to me after checking my cervix one last time. Things weren't processing, or I said processing, things weren't progressing. So basically she said, we're going to have to do an emergency C-section. And I was calm when she was telling me that, but I could feel like
I wasn't.
Yeah, you weren't?
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like hearing that.
I could feel like a lump in my throat, and I knew I was about to cry, but I just let her kind of leave first, and then like I just started crying because I was not prepared, which is why they say you're supposed to have a birth plan, but my birth plan was really just to get her here safely. Nothing less, nothing more, or whatever like that. But I'm not gonna lie, I was so stressed, sad, and traumatized by them saying that, basically I was gonna have a C-section. And I have a mom there, she's had C-section before, so she was basically like trying to tell me to calm down or whatever. So I was just like, whew, let me breathe. I didn't want my blood pressure to continue to spike because that is very dangerous. So before I knew it, things just started moving so freaking fast. And when I say fast, like,
it was really fast.
I just felt like the nurses just started scurrying around and doing stuff. And before you get like your spinal tap or whatever, literally you have to have like a bag of IV or whatever. The fluid, the liquid or whatever. So they started putting that, like pumping a new bag into me and all that stuff. And I was just sitting there like waiting for them to take me. And I feel like they actually were like, do you want to walk to the room, to, the C-section room or whatever? Because they had to call and check, because it was crazy. They were like, multiple people have had C-sections.
The lady was having one at the same time.
And that just made me think about, because literally one of my nurses was literally not good. And the next day on April 3rd in the morning, when I got like my morning nurse, she was like,
she's not good.
Yeah, she was like, she's not good. It was a young nurse, and the older lady was like, these young nurses really, I don't think that they know what they're doing. And she kept saying that something was wrong with the baby, or like the monitor kept coming off. It was just
the monitor wasn't catching like really high heart rate, but it was because it wasn't on right. Apparently is what we found out.
And I just felt like
I do feel like that contributed to my experience a little bit. But I'm not gonna put the blame on her for the reason why I had to have a C-section, because that's just not true. But I do feel like in that moment at night, I wasn't completely well taken care of the way I should have been. So
She took forever to come to the room.
oh
She
my
would forget
gosh,
stuff.
she was forgetting everything. She would say like, "Oh, you can ask me for anything, whatever." And so I think I asked for like a Sprite.
And I had to go get it.
Yeah, I asked for a Sprite because she said that I could have clear liquids or whatever. And then she didn't come back. She like would never come back. And so I'm not gonna say I was scared to ask her for stuff, but I just feel like I was bothering her the
Like,
whole
what's the
time.
point?
So I didn't really want to ask her for anything. And so, but I then found out she was like, well, we're night nurses and we're not really doing anything, but we're waiting on you guys.
Yeah.
That's literally what she
That's
said.
what she said.
Like, they're not doing anything. Because I'm thinking like, oh, they're busy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's nighttime. There's probably a whole bunch of people here. No, she was like, I'm basically your dedicated nurse. So that just made it so much more annoying when I found out all that.
She's the same nurse told you to put up the camera.
Yeah, the same one that told me to put up the camera. So I was just like, you're annoying. And then the next morning I had like a better nurse or whatever. I felt like I had somebody that was like, well, more educated basically. And so anyways, where was I at?
The C-section and how
Yeah,
everybody was scurrying around.
so once everybody was done scurrying around and the room was available for me to pretty much have is that considered a surgery?
Yeah.
Once, I was ready to have the surgery, whew, it was so much, so stressful. It was like a high stress moment, but they started like unhooking my IV and stuff so that we could get into the room, whatever. And they were taking me to the room. This part I remember. They're taking me into the room, and Darian is coming along with me, and then they make him go into
the daddy room.
And I was like, what? Like, I was just so confused because they didn't say that. Like, I feel like they didn't explain everything, and maybe that's just because everything was rushed.
Yeah, maybe.
But everything wasn't explained to me, so I was like, why is he going to another room? And I'm about to have a surgery.
But they told me it was just for prep time, and then after.
So basically, he couldn't see me get like the spinal tap or whatever. Yeah. But I didn't know that. I was like, when is he coming back? So what happened was I went in there and they got me on like the bed thing or whatever. Like, I sat up and they started to do my spinal tap, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, it did not hurt. Like, when I tell you the worst thing that I felt during those 2 days was not the spinal tap, was a cervix check. That's what hurt me the most. So basically, they gave me the shot in the back, and maybe it was because like the guy who was doing it, the anesthesiologist, he had a very calm voice. I could tell he knew what he was doing. He was actually educating some of the people in the room with me. I felt like he was talking about like something to do with my height and the placement of the spinal tap, which I was like, I don't really know what's going on, but he sounded like he knew what he's talking about, so it didn't really matter.
I didn't hear any of it because I was in the daddy room.
Right, it didn't really matter.
It's basically a broom closet.
Okay.
It was basically just a closet.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't see any of that.
It was literally like a little closet.
So the spinal tap, it literally feels like, boom, like they say a bee sting, but I've never been stung by a bee before. So it felt like a regular shot to me. And then I could feel a little something going up my back, but I didn't feel nothing for real. It was not like I thought it was going to be excruciating pain because like the epidural they say is going to be excruciating pain, but I didn't feel, what everybody else said. And everybody has different pain tolerance. Like cervix checks might not hurt you guys, but it was terrible for me. So yeah, after that, I felt like my legs, like my whole bottom half, it was just getting dead so fast, like to the point to where I just couldn't move. So they literally like roll you onto this next bed or whatever. And because in my head I'm thinking like, I'm huge. Like, I was huge when I was pregnant. You guys saw in the previous video, like I was huge. So I'm like, they not finna get me to this next part. They did. They just rolled me over. So yeah, I got rolled over. And then they were like asking me, could I feel stuff? And yeah, I couldn't feel nothing. So, were you in at this point?
No, not yet.
Okay, so something must have happened in between then, because then I just remember him being beside me. But
I get it.
okay. Or like, see if she just needs her pacifier. Okay, so basically, oh my god, I can't remember where I was. Okay.
You're saying that you don't remember anything after that.
Oh yeah. All I remember was being very, very nauseous. Like I was extremely sick feeling while I was under whatever. I also didn't have any oxygen, which later I found out that was weird. My mom told me that was weird. But right?
I didn't hear your mom tell you that.
No, I'm saying like I didn't have any
Oh
oxygen.
yeah, you didn't have any oxygen.
I didn't have any oxygen in my nose or whatever. Which I seen some people have it and some people don't. I guess I didn't need it.
But they were monitoring your vitals on the thing. I saw that part when I got in there.
Okay, so I didn't see that. But yeah, I'm kind of speeding the video along because, yeah, she's about to wake up. But, okay, so what do you...
Or you blabber.
Okay, so what do you remember?
I remember they finally came to the broom closet I was in. And they told me that I can go in there. So I went in there and I saw all these people around you, didn't like it. Because I just know how you are. So, of course, it didn't make me feel good to see you like that. But, yeah, they sat me up there with you, told me I could hold your hand. So I was holding your hand, just talking to you because you were conscious. You were just out of it.
Yeah.
So I was talking to you, and you were just talking about random stuff.
Really?
Yeah, you were just talking about, like, well, I wouldn't say random, but you were just like, oh, is she, well, you kept asking if she hear you every 10 seconds. And, I mean, that was really it, because I really couldn't see anything, because they had this...
huge sheet.
Yeah, like in front of your belly.
Yeah.
So I could only see, like, of course, you. So we were just talking. And then I could hear them play music, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And then I could hear the doctors talk. I really couldn't hear everything they were saying because I really were more focused on you. Mm-hmm. But I was just kind of mainly paying attention to her, but also keeping the ear out for, like, I guess, like, alert words, like words that just like, okay, they should be saying this in this time of moment.
Yeah.
But I never heard any of that. There was one part where they kind of went to go get the baby, and then you just hear like a splash, and you hear someone scream. But it wasn't like a bad scream, because they all started, like, as soon as it happened, they started laughing. And then that's when your doctor said that's probably why she wasn't dilating. So I'm assuming, based on kind of what they were talking about, you had so much fluid in your stomach, you couldn't dilate properly to give like a regular birth.
That's how swollen I was.
Yeah.
It was probably blocking everything.
Yeah, so that, I mean, and then really from that point on, they were just trying to get the baby out. And that's when the lady that was watching her vitals was just, she could see. I couldn't, but she could. Mm-hmm. And so she was just telling us stuff like, oh, you know, she's beautiful. Oh, she has a lot of hair, all that stuff. She was telling us all that kind of stuff because, like I said, I couldn't see. So then when they got the baby out, they took her over to the weigh station, and then they weighed her. And then they were like, she's 8 pounds, 7 ounces. And then I don't know who was who, but someone was like, can you weigh her again? Because that doesn't sound right. So they weighed her again, and she was 8 pounds, 7 ounces. So they cleaned her up, did like all the tests to make sure she was okay, make sure she was breathing, making sure she had reflexes, making sure she was crying. We could hear her, but at this point I still couldn't see her. And it really wasn't because the tarp was in the way or the sheet. It was just there were so many people I couldn't see. But I was trying. So I could kind of see, like, I saw a baby, but I really couldn't see her.
Yeah.
But then they got her crying and stuff. That's when they got me up over there I couldn't hold her, but I could take pictures and look at her. And then, yeah, that's really when I came back down. I came back down to where you were and sat down. Mm-hmm. And then you were like, can we see the baby yet? And I was like, no, but you took that as like something bad. You're like, something wrong with her? I was like, no, they're just cleaning her off. And so,
I was so anxious.
But I was trying to, like, I didn't want to say too, like, I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, they're just scrubbing her down. Because that's what they were doing. They're essentially just cleaning her off. But that's a mouthful, especially in that situation. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really know what to say. I didn't know what to say, if I should be like, say too much, as in like that, like I said, that's a mouthful, or just kind of keep it like simple words, but keeping it at simple words, it made you worried.
Let me go check on her.
Yeah,
You continue and tell them about the diaper.
This is a solo video, so this is my channel now. So yeah, after that, like I said, I tried to explain to her that like nothing's wrong with the baby, we just can't see it right now. But it literally 2 minutes after they brought the baby down, we were able to hold her. So I was able to hold her while they kind of stitched her back up or whatever they used to seal her back up. So we were able to see the baby. She still was kind of out of it. And then after that, it was a pretty quick, easy process. They took us all out. I got to leave first, and then 10 minutes after, Kelly came and they rolled her in. And then we were changing the baby, and they put the newborn diaper on her, and it didn't fit because the baby's so big. So that was kind of funny. I wish I took a picture of that moment, but at the time, so much going on, not really thinking about it. But yeah, it was a lot going on in a little bit of time. It was stressful, but I'm glad it happened. It was fun at the end of the day. We're glad that our baby girl is here. But yeah, I don't think it was anything like the immediate aftermath was too crazy or even really too memorable. At that point, once the baby was here, it's kind of like, as she said, she couldn't really remember much. I can't really remember much because they just give you the baby. There's no playbook or anything. They just say here, and then you got theater and whatnot. So yeah, everything kind of just rushed after that. So I really couldn't remember. We did move to this smaller room. I think it's just to watch, make sure the baby's doing fine, make sure Kelly's healing properly, but it's nowhere near like the labor and delivery room that we were in previously. It was a lot smaller, which sucked because you had to move a lot more because we had to, of course, take care of the baby, feed her, watch her, hold her, all these things, but it was in a lot smaller room. But other than that, yeah, it was a process nonetheless, but afterwards, really, there were no hiccups or anything bad that happened. It was just, basic stuff. What's up?
So where are you at?
I'm at when we were in the small room.
Oh. Kinsley, it's your first introduction to my channel.
She says she doesn't like it.
So, yeah. Well, that's pretty much, I would say that's postpartum. I think I might do a video of like C-section recovery because that is, whew.
You know what you do?
No, it's okay. But that was a lot. I don't know if he mentioned anything about it or like how it was navigating in the room afterwards and just like.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. You really couldn't move, sorry. Yeah. But I told him that the room was small anyway.
Yeah.
So considering how much we had to live in there. Mm-hmm. So it being a small room kind of made stuff, I wouldn't say worse, but it made it difficult because in that other room, it was a lot more livable. Mm-hmm. The second room was very much like if you're not sleeping in there, you can't really do anything in there.
Which made it worse for two people sleeping in there, and then the baby in their little she was in her little, what's it called?
Not incubator, but
I say
it was like a rolling bassinet almost. But yeah, that room was really small. But I mean, at that point, you've been stuck a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But I mean that was really it.
Probably hungry.
Oh, my pretty princess.
Should I continue now?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll be quiet.
Okay.
You know you have a whole thing of tea out here?
Yes. It was supposed to be cooling down and then I never came back. She's crying. We're just trying to get everything settled and everything. But I'm pretty much going to end this video right here. That was my birth story. It was pretty traumatic. It wasn't like anything that I ever thought it would be. So yeah, I pretty much ended up having an emergency C-section. We can't see you. Put her in the camera. Is that a foot? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I had an emergency C-section. It was very scary. I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I'm actually, healed. Like I said, I just got cleared for 6 weeks. I can't wait to take a sit-down bath because I love a sit-down bath. Couldn't do that for a long time. I couldn't even do that while I was really pregnant in my 3rd trimester because I couldn't get in and out of the, get up and out of the tub or whatever. I can drive, all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know if you guys want me to talk about how the recovery went or anything like that. I'm not gonna lie, I did not stay in the hospital that long. I think so. She was born at night on April 3rd. We stayed all of April 4th, and then April 5th I was ready to go. If April 5th is a Friday, let me make sure, because I'm pretty sure we went home on Friday. Yeah. So April 5th, I was ready to go. My mom was like, you need to stay. But I was ready to go. Thank God nothing happened. I was very careful. Of course, it was a lot of pain. But yeah, if you guys want me to make a video talking about recovery and how that went, let me know. I have an Amazon storefront now, so I'm going to be putting the link out there for pretty much the things that I use for recovery, postpartum, even during my pregnancy. So I'll make sure that I'll link that below. And yeah, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, you guys.